What's up, everybody? Rob Ferretti here, and today I'm going to complain about something. Why? Because it'll make a lot of sense when you listen to it. So one thing I don't like is new cars being sold for more than the actual MSRP. The MSRP is the price that a manufacturer sets when they design a product line. All right, what do we have to do to make this feasible? If we sell 1,000 units at $150,000, it's a feasible product line. Great, so what happens? They set the price point at $150,000, they make their 1,000 cars, and whatever happens, happens. That goes against business logic. Business logic is you set a price, once you define a product as feasible, you sell as many as you can. Look at retail, look at any Shark Tank thing. They're not like, cool, we'd really like to sell 1,000 widgets and then we're good. No, we want to sell everybody in the world has to be driving or using my widget. So that's sort of the point of developing a product and selling it. Once you create a demand and there's feasibility and you get the price that you want, you make as many as you can. That's where I don't get it. So we'll use some of the cars that we're talking about in a second, but the price point on a car, when do you stop selling that car? When did you hit that saturation point is when the dealer can no longer sell those cars at MSRP. Then you say, okay, we're going to start ending production or only taking orders. I don't care if the car is $15,000 or $1 million or $5 million. If you could sell $1 million, $5 million cars, you're the smartest guy on the planet. You do that because you've made something that people can't live without. Now, that being said, what ended up happening? What ends up happening? And why would you make a limited production car? Well, the answer to why you would make a limited production car is you can't sell them without them being limited production. And this was sort of big. I mean, I know Lamborghini was big on this in the past. And this is sort of where Ford went with the GT because they couldn't sell all the previous Ford GTs, so they stopped production early. Now, we're only going to make 250 a year. Now you create this limited demand and people are like, ooh, I'm going to get my hands on one of these widgets, park it in the corner. It's going to go up in value like all these other cars are. And that's great. That shouldn't be, the limited production shouldn't be what dictates a climb in market price. You shouldn't, as a manufacturer, as a business, you sell as many widgets as you can at your profitable MSRP price or your retail price. And as long as you don't have to go below retail, sell them. And if it's a good car, like the Toyota Supra, like the GT3, they'll go up in value. That car is worth more than it cost originally. That car is worth more than it cost originally. Why? Because it's a good car. And people say like, oh, that's great. That wasn't particularly limited. They made a lot of Supras. They made a lot of GT3s. But the fact is there's more people that want to then purchase that car down the road. And it's a great driving car. They don't want it because it was a limited production. Look at other limited production runs. The Maserati Who Gives a Damn, not the MC12, but the Maserati Cambio Corsa Stealth Edition or whatever. They're not worth anything. It's got a $3,000 bump over the depreciated value of the next one. So limited production cars should only be reserved for companies that cannot sell them, not to create an artificial demand. I'm going to use the GT3 as a perfect example. The new GT3. The only time there should be over sticker trading on the used market is that the first couple of cars, because there are people that buy cars just to be the first to have them, but they know that they're paying for the novelty and that car will soon be worth less than they paid for it because they want to be the cool kid on the block and they're willing to pay for that. It shouldn't be a secondary market controlled demand. Right now you have companies pumping out cars and they make a limited number and all these guys scoop them up like they're buying gold or stocks because there's a fixed amount of it, and then they're trying to tell people what the cars are worth. The 911R is a perfect example. It's a great car. Porsche made a great car, and then even Porsche complained about like, well, we don't really want them to go to speculators. We're building cars for people to drive. So if you're building cars for people to drive, keep making them until you can't sell anymore. The 911R, make 20,000 of them. You're not going to make 20,000 of them. I don't think there's 20,000 people out there. But if it's a great car, make them until the saturation point comes down. Only make them to order. If you know you could sell 1,000 at sticker price, do it. So, but then open the orders. So if there's another 4,000 people that want to buy them, great. Let them get into the hands of people. You are selling a commodity. Who cares if everybody is speculative and they buy 5,000 911Rs and they go down to $5,000 a piece? They're not going to. These are all extreme examples, obviously. But the whole point of you as a company is you're not benefiting from a car being sold at MSRP and it being sold for double by somebody else. There's no reason as a business owner, if I sold a DVD for $20 and everybody that buys a DVD turns around and sells it for $40, I should raise my price, or I should sell them I should either sell them for $40, or it would bother me that the secondary market would be so high at the time of sale, or somebody is like buying all my inventory faster than I can make it. If I rented cars for $1,000 a day and somebody instantly went and flipped it for $2,000 a day, that's money I'm leaving on the table for somebody who hasn't done anything. It's essentially car scalping. You know who people hate? People hate the Ticketmaster people who go scoop up all the concert tickets and say, here's what they cost now, bitches. Nobody likes that. Nobody wants the guy who's sitting in his underwear buying all these tickets because he's got some script written and he's got no intention of going to the concert. He buys 1,000 tickets and then sets the market on them. So there has to be a fix. And if you understand why limited production cars come along when either you can't make them, like a Pagani or a Koenigsegg or something where you can only make so many of them, or when you can't sell them. And if you made a standard Joe Blow, I don't know, like a Porsche or Ferrari, and you can't sell them at MSRP, you make them a limited production to create a demand. And that's why you do it. And Lamborghini was huge on this in the 90s. Every Diablo was one of 10. Oh, Millennium Metallico, Bose edition, Pirelli edition. And they do that to then make people say like, oh, well, I've got one of 10 blanks, it'll be worth more. Or now I see value in it because it's limited. And I don't think that should go across the board. I don't think a manufacturer making a modern day car, there shouldn't be a secondary market right out of the gate on any vehicle, because people should know that they're going to satisfy the demand. If you want one, you're going to get one. And especially if you're willing to pay MSRP, which is a profitable price point for a dealer. So that being said, the only way to really bust the bubble here, which there is a giant car bubble right now because people see things going up in value, so people with money are just scooping shit up and throwing it in the corner. And that's not really why cars were designed. That's not really fair or fun to the enthusiast. It's not like the concert goer. It's not fair that they have to pay more than the desired sticker price for the ticket, and that doesn't go to the artist, that doesn't go to the venue, that goes to some jerk off who's just becoming the middleman, and nobody likes that. So in order to stop car scalping, which is essentially what it is, the only way to do it is to sell as many as you can until the price starts going down to below MSRP, just a notch below MSRP. It's not hard for a manufacturer to know that. Make as many widgets as you can until everybody's got one that wants one, then stop producing them. I mean, Viper, Dodge did the same thing. They had to limit the number of cars for the last year and they sold very quickly. But I don't think that normal car companies or like profitable car companies should be limiting demand for any reason, because all it does is benefit the guy who's going to buy it and then resell it. Let me know your thoughts. Leave your comments below. Thank you for watching, and make sure you subscribe. Talk to you soon. Or I will talk to you soon, and you will listen to me soon, unless you email me, in which case we'll have a conversation.